everyone, I am Veronica, and this is the second month of my weight loss journey. Thank you for sticking with me, or to any new viewers, thank you for joining me. If you are joining right off of my previous video, you know I am a bit behind on recording, and again, I apologize for that. I am recording on November 18th, and the first week of November in my weight loss journey was November 9th through the 16th. I did do a weigh-in that Sunday, but I'm going to save that for the end of this video because this first week is the week I started to implement some new tools that has helped me tremendously. What I am going to do first is go over some of the new things that I learned and how those lessons have helped me improve the way I go about my weight loss journey. The first thing I learned, yes, I do need a calorie deficit, but I also need to pay attention to my macronutrients. Some of the main ones being fat, carbs, and protein. But that created a new problem. I had no idea how to figure out what amounts I needed of those macronutrients to be of any use to me. So I continued looking, and I did stumble upon a free calculator that takes my body height and weight and can calculate the calories, fats, carbs, and protein intakes that I need to be at a healthy deficit. According to the calculator, my ideal calorie intake is 1,634 calories per day. My ideal fat intake is 64 grams per day. My ideal carb intake is 123 grams per day. And my ideal protein intake is 143 grams per day. I do not know how it calculates these figures, but it's what I got to start with, so I'm sticking to it for now. And if I need to, I will adjust as needed in the future. The one thing I still need to figure out are the figures for the macronutrients, something I must reach, or are they something that if I am at a deficit for those macronutrients, it's a good thing. I know that for the body I want, protein is a must, so I am going to try to keep my protein high. And I don't think there is such a thing as too much protein, but I'm still figuring out the others. The second thing I learned, yes, measuring out all my food is necessary, no matter how tedious it may get. So I came up with a game plan. I made a diet calculator and a calorie chart on Google Excel. The diet calculator will have a list of all the calculated calories and macronutrients that I had for that entire week. And the calorie chart will all have the food that I will usually consume with the calorie and macronutrient info, and also all the information I have on the meals I made for that week. Let me show you what they look like. So this is my diet calculator. As you can see, it is for the week of November 10th through the 16th. So that was the Monday through Sunday. It includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the goal, and the total of calories, fats, carbs, proteins from the day of that week. Now, I did make it so that once I plug in these numbers, it automatically calculates the total. So I will have this calculator to be used throughout my entire journey. It is going to calculate all of these once I plug everything in, and it's going to compare the total for that day versus the goal of the calculator I was telling you about previously. I did also calculate my weekly goals for calories, proteins, and fat and carbs. And then I also came up with a formula that automatically calculates my weekly total for those. As you can see, I did already do the first week of this month that shows all of my calculated calories and the total of those macronutrients as well. So as you can see, I am always below on my calories. Some days I'm very below. Like this day I didn't eat a whole lot, or this day. And for the macronutrients, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out if I need to be below this goal or if reaching them is okay. I'm still doing research on that, so I will tell you what I found out at a later date. But my log for this week has been pretty good. I did not miss any details. I kept all of the meals that I have had on this calculator. The only time that you see these blanks here is because I did not eat dinner or I did not eat lunch that day. Usually that happens when I had the day off here, so I slept in a little bit, but I was also able to make myself a bigger breakfast, where usually if I go to work, I am just making myself a protein shake in the morning, which is usually where you'll see here is I do 2 servings of the almond milk with 2 scoops of the protein shake, which is why I get now I need to fix this. This is supposed to be 50. But I guess I'll leave it for now, but I'll make sure that this week I pay attention. But for my calorie chart, I have all of the foods that will be part of that meal. So chicken breast, salmon, lean ground beef, some of the accessories for those meals, my egg whites for my omelets, my protein shakes. And it also includes the calories, fats, carbs, proteins for those foods. And then as I'm making my meals, I am laying out everything and writing it down here with my meals and then calculating the total for that meal. That way, when the time comes, all I have to do is take that labeled meal out and plug in these numbers to my diet calculator. I am going to print out both of these and keep them in a binder so I can look back on them in the future and just compare, and also use it as a reference for meals that I am going to have in the future. So all I have to do is plug and chug basically. The third thing I learned, even though the food you prep is healthy and within your intake goals, you still need a flavorful variety or you will get bored very easily. I did prep my food for that week, as you saw on my calorie chart, but they did not have a lot of flavoring to them because I was more focused on following the plan. I did not season my broccoli or corn and did the bare minimum of salt and pepper on my protein. After the first or second time having these meals, I got tired of them because they didn't really taste like anything. And because of this, I did not eat a lot and it caused me to have some cravings. For some reason that week, my craving consisted of McDonald's double quarter pounder with fries and a Coke, of course, but also their hot fudge sundae. However, I am proud to say that I did not cave and did not get any fast food last week. It did encourage me to find new recipes though. I plan on doing a video making those recipes for this current week meal prep. So if you keep an eye out for that, if you're interested, give it a look. The fourth thing I learned, I unfortunately have no idea what I am doing when I try to work out. I bought a weight bench and have a treadmill, but even when I watch videos on YouTube, I can't tell if my form is correct or if I'm even working my muscles in the correct way. The times I did work out, I would feel a burn, but I wouldn't wake up the next day and be like, yes, it feels like I had a good workout the day before. I'm saying this in the sense I wasn't sore. Based off of the research I did, the soreness is your muscles telling you they are damaged and need a rest. But as they rest, they are creating more muscle. I feel if I'm not reaching that level here at home, I do have to go to a gym. I really wanted to be able to do this journey at home because I feel like I would be too nervous to go to a gym. But to improve, I do need some guidance. I have done some brief research on some of the gyms around me that have some classes that have instructors for strength and specific body workouts. I did find a Planet Fitness that says they have the latest strength machines and free classes with the instructors. I still had to find the time to actually go and see for myself, but the plans are in action and I will most likely be in the gym next month or the beginning of next year. I was also able to talk my brother into going with me, so I will not feel as nervous and be more comfortable actually going. The last thing I learned, exercise is good. It will help build your body into the frame you want it to be, but it's not the main way your body burns calories. So there's something called NEAT, which means non-exercise activity thermogenesis. These are all the activities you do on a day-to-day basis, like chores, walking, playing with the kids, or whatever you do for work. These movements are actually the main components to losing weight that we can control. So as you can see, how our body burns calories is divided into a couple different groups: EAT, TEF, NEAT, and our BMR. So our EAT is the exercise that we do, so the calories we burn while exercising. The TEF is the thermic effect of food, so that means what we're digesting. And then NEAT is what I just told you about, the non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So that's your moving around, regular chores, things like that. But the largest thing that affects our body's burning of calories is our BMR, our basal metabolic rate. And these are the calories required to keep you alive, like breathing, things like that. So based off of this chart, the main thing that we can change in our life to lose more calories that we can control is this factor right here, our NEAT. Increasing our movement day to day, increasing any new activities we want to do, and things like that. The good thing about exercising, though, it is a way to increase your muscle. And as you increase your muscle, it will also impact your BMR, because the more muscle you have, it is going to increase your BMR. And then also a way to impact your TEF is the more protein you eat, it increases the thermal effect of food because it requires more energy to digest protein than some of the other things. So I did put in a goal to get in 10,000 steps per day in. During this first week, I have been reaching that goal on most days except Monday and Tuesday. My Fitbit did just break yesterday, so I won't be able to completely track the number of steps now, but I am planning on doing some 1 hour long walks after work to get in more steps. I do plan on getting another activity watch, but I think I want to wait until I can get a better one because the watch that broke wasn't even a real Fitbit. It was a cheap off-brand that I got on Amazon a while ago, so I'm not surprised it died on me. Now to the part we were all waiting for, the weigh-in. So this first week I did very well. I stayed on a calorie deficit, I did not eat out, and I did my NEAT workouts. So on Sunday, I weighed in at 210.8 pounds, a total of 5.2 pounds lost in a week. I really like this number. It is the lowest I have been for a while, and I'm proud of getting there. However, I am concerned that these weigh-ins are not really showing a 100% accurate pattern. The one thing I do not want to be is untrue on this channel. I want to be as faithful as I can be. What I mean by this is weight can fluctuate a lot in a week, and when I do my weigh-ins just once a week, I can either get lucky and get weighed on a day where my weight is at my lowest, or I can get unlucky and get weighed on a day where my weight is not as promising. This is another new thing I recently learned. So a way to combat this is to do a weigh in once a day and then take the average, then see if that average is down from before. So I did get a smart scale from Amazon. I did just get it today. This scale is connected to an app so I can actually keep track of my weight each day and see an actual pattern in one spot. It also does other measurements like calculating BMI, the percentage of fat versus muscle, and other cool things. I did just get it today, like I said, so the first weigh-in will be either today or tomorrow, depending on what time I get my editing done. It's already getting pretty late. But this month is already starting out great, and I am committed to the journey. Thank you again for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.